So you're considering moving into the DC area, and you heard about how great Montgomery County is, but then you found out the median price for a home is a few bucks shy of $500,000. Yikes. If you want to know about the most affordable places to live near DC in Montgomery County, Maryland, you have come to the right place. I'm Cedric Stewart from Keller Williams Realty, your favorite DC area realtor. And first things first, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Montgomery County, Maryland, subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell icon and turn on your notifications so that you can know exactly when we release new videos. Thank you for that. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Montgomery County, Maryland, or anywhere in the DC area, click the link below to set up a quick call or Zoom meeting so we can help you make the transition smooth. All right, so today we're going to talk about the most affordable areas near DC in Montgomery County, Maryland to buy a home that also meet the following criteria. So the area must be solid with home values that remain stable or have increased year over year. The area must have a high overall rating from a popular neighborhood ranking site. The area must have high-rated schools according to greatschools.org. The area must have homes that are currently available for sale below Montgomery County's median sales price of over $490,000. That's how we're judging them. And when we judge them by those metrics, we found that there are definitely other areas with a lower barrier of entry, meaning cheaper homes. But that's not enough for us because we know that cheap doesn't necessarily mean good, right? So if you're relocating to Montgomery County or DC for work, we want to make sure you know about some of the better options in our region. Now we put this list together, understanding that people would classify being near DC and having a short commute, those things will be largely determined by your method of travel, the time of travel, your work location, and various other factors. All right. Now, if you're hearing these numbers, you might have concluded that it's not as cheap as you may have thought to buy in DC, but in the DC area, but fear not. I know where to go if you want to buy below that $490,000 price point, and I'm going to share these gems with you today. In fact, the homes we'll be looking at today start as low as $270,000. Yeah, that's a real number. So the first area on our list is Clarksburg, Maryland. Now, with a ton of development taking place and a new outlet mall, Clarksburg is on its way to becoming one of the premier destinations in Montgomery County. People absolutely love the community, and we are seeing more and more people move out there to get into the school district. Now, why is that? Well, because Clarksburg has a number of schools that have some of the highest ratings in Montgomery County. Look, the community has been rated A+ overall, and it's been voted among the best suburbs in Maryland to buy a house. Speaking of housing, right now you can buy a 3-level townhome with 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and 2 half baths, starting at $409,000. Homes like this are usually well over 2,000 square feet, built somewhere around 2004 to 2008, that timeline. Also, most of these homes will offer a 1 to 2 car garage, which is super convenient. I think we can agree that you are going to get a pretty nice property in Clarksburg around that $400,000 price point. Am I right? Doesn't that sound good? So again, when we compare this to the median price of $490,000 for Montgomery County, this is obviously much better. Now, when we look at the Clarksburg market overall, we found that the median sales price for the area shot up $100,000 in October, which we believe indicates that the month was dominated by sales of newer single-family homes. Now, we'll be keeping an eye on this to see what changes occur over the long term. But in the meantime, we know the home values are moving in the right direction. Now, since this is all about affordable places to live near DC, well, we got to look at the drive time into the city. So We're going to use downtown DC as our destination for these examples, okay? And what we find out is that if you leave Clarksburg at 7:30 a.m., you can expect your travels to take anywhere from 35 to 55 minutes. Now, going back up to Clarksburg from DC, leaving at 5 p.m. would take a minimum of 40 minutes up to 1 hour and 20 minutes. It all depends. I think you'll agree with me when I say that the work from home shift could really be your friend in this scenario. All in all, Clarksburg is a fantastic location to consider if you're looking for an affordable place to live near DC. Now, the second area on our list is Damascus, Maryland. Now, compared to most of the other places on our list, Damascus is on the smaller side. Now, if you like a quiet, rural, suburban feel, this may be the place for you. However, much like Clarksburg, Damascus has a number of schools that have some of the highest ratings in Montgomery County. And, you know, this community, it's another one that has received an A+ overall, and it's been voted among the suburbs, rather the best suburbs to buy a house in Maryland. So, you know, these are the things that we're looking for. Now, since we're talking about housing, what would you say if I told you that you could buy a 3-level, 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath townhome for as little as $270,000? Don't make up stories like that, Cedric. Prove it, Cedric. Tell me more, Cedric. I assure you, I am happy to show you this indeed is a dream come true. Stay with me. Now, you may be thinking, what kind of condition would a home like that be? Well, you know, what is the age? Well, I can tell you that a townhouse in solid shape between $270,000 to $290,000 in Damascus is what you're liable to find. And these homes are usually between 1,200 to 1,400 square feet. They're built somewhere around the early to late 1980s. But that's a whole $200,000 difference compared to the median price of $490,000 for Montgomery County, right? $200,000. That's almost enough to buy another house in Damascus. I mean, at these prices, you could afford to spend another $30,000 to $50,000 in upgrades and still come out on top. Now, you can make that investment with a bit more confidence knowing that Damascus home values have risen 5% year over year, which is stupendous, which I'm sure you already knew. Now, since this video is focused on affordable places to live near DC, we need to talk about the drive time into the city. Again, we're going to use downtown DC as our destination for these examples. And what we find is that if you leave Damascus at 7:30 a.m., you could expect your travels to take anywhere from 45 to 65 minutes. And going back up to Damascus from DC, leaving at 5 p.m. would take a minimum of 45 minutes to 1 hour and 15 minutes. It all depends. Now, I will admit that isn't the easiest commute, but when compared to Clarksburg, sounds like you can move into Damascus for a lot less if you plan on driving into DC anyway. Think about that. Okay, the third area on our list is Gaithersburg, Maryland. Gaithersburg is a large, well-developed area with a really solid reputation and something for everybody. Clarksburg and Damascus are much smaller sections of Montgomery County in comparison to Gaithersburg. However, one thing they all have in common is the schools. They have some of the highest rated schools in Montgomery County. And Gaithersburg is another area that has received that coveted A+ overall rating, plus a ton of praise for its urban suburban feel. Now, we can't talk about affordable places to live near DC without discussing the housing market, right? You will be happy to know that I found you a 3-level, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome near one of the greatschool.org highest rated schools in the county for the low price of $299,900. Feel free to rewind that if you need to. I promise you the news will sound just as good the second time around. this is going to be very similar to Damascus in that these homes are usually between 12 to 1,400 square feet, built somewhere around the early to late 1980s. And the good news is the home values remain steady in Gaithersburg. So now that we've qualified another area with homes available far below the median home price for Montgomery County, Maryland, let's look at the commute. Once again, we are using downtown DC as our destination for these examples. And we see that if you leave Gaithersburg at 7:30 a.m., you could expect your travel time to take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Now, you may not know this, but that is pretty sweet for the DC area. Now, going back up to Gaithersburg from DC, leaving at 5 p.m. will take between 35 to 55 minutes. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I mean, some of the routes are beautiful, like GW Parkway. I think this is going to be on your short list of areas to consider when you're looking at affordable places to live in DC, quite honestly. Now, if you want to learn more about Gaithersburg, Maryland, be sure to check out our top 5 best places to live in Montgomery County video, okay? Check that out on the playlist or click somewhere around down here. Okay, the fourth area on our list is Germantown, Maryland. Now, among the top 5 most populous places in Maryland, Germantown is also on our list of the top 5 most affordable places to live near DC. Even though they are nearly identical in size, Germantown has like 50% more residents than Gaithersburg, Maryland. And why is that? Because many folks feel that when compared to some other sections of Montgomery County, Germantown offers them even more value for their money when they're shopping for a home. You know, it's got a great community diversity and, that's right, top-rated public schools. Now, speaking of value in home shopping, here's an example of that in this 3-level, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome located near 2 greatschool.org top-rated schools for only $385,000. This particular find even has garage parking and a driveway. Homes like this are going to be around 2,000 to 2,200 square feet, and they're going to be built around the early 1990s. And the good news is home values remain steady in Germantown. Once again, compared to Montgomery County's median home price of over $490,000, this is good math if you're looking for an affordable place to live near DC. I know what you're thinking. Exactly how close is this to DC, Cedric? Okay, let's take a look at the traffic report. As always, we're using downtown DC as our destination for these examples. And we see that if you leave Germantown at 7:30 a.m., you can expect your travel to take anywhere from 35 to 50 minutes, which is almost identical to the Gaithersburg commute. And as a local native born and raised in DC, I'm going to say that's pretty good. And going back up to Germantown from DC, leaving at 5 p.m., takes 40 to 60 minutes. Okay, so the 5th area on our list is Silver Spring, Maryland. Rounding out our list is the area that has been called the Culture and Art Hub of Montgomery County. This section of the county lies right on the opposite side of DC's northwest border. And it doesn't get any closer than that. So Silver Spring is a pretty large area, though not quite as expansive as Gaithersburg or Germantown. Now, Silver Spring's nightlife scene is top rated, and according to greatschools.org, so are several of its schools. Since Silver Spring is just over the DC line, the housing costs are higher than some of the other areas on this list, but at the time of this recording, I found 44 homes for sale in Silver Spring, Maryland that were below Montgomery County's median home price of over $490,000. Yes, with at least 12, a full dozen of them, under $400,000. And a perfect example is this lovely townhouse for $350,000. It's a 3-level, 3-bedroom, 2 full bath, 2 half bath, placed with a garage and a driveway. That is an incredible find in the DC area. Now, homes like this are going to be 1,500 to 1,800 square feet, and usually built in the late 80s. Now, speaking of incredible, at the time of this recording, our research indicates that Silver Spring home values have risen, get this, 10% year over year. If I were relocating to the DC area, I would strongly consider moving to Silver Spring. Now, with all this talk about being near DC, we got to drill down on the mighty traffic. All right, back to the traffic report. Let's see how things shape up. Once again, we're using downtown DC as our destination in these examples, and we'll see that if you leave Silver Spring at 7:30 a.m., you could expect travel to take anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. I said 20 minutes. You can save money and commute to DC in as little as 20 minutes. Okay? Let's continue. Going back to Silver Spring from DC, leaving at 5 p.m., wait for it, could take between 20 and 50 minutes. These are the lowest commute times on the entire list. Are you hearing me? I mean, I guess you could say we saved the best for last. Now, what do you consider to be a reasonable commute time? 20 minutes? 30 minutes? 45 minutes? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe to our channel. Now, if you have any questions about cities and towns in Montgomery County, Maryland, and you're thinking about doing something, or you just want to know more, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you, and we would love to answer your questions. Take care.